I want to talk a little bit more about inner urge. The last video was dealing with the first half of the progression and looking at voicings using tension substitutions and how that was, I think, where the melody of the first half of the tune comes from. I want to look at the second half of the tune today in this video. So I wanted to think about how to. I purchased this soloing over that, where if you don't know the tune, it's a sequence of major chords, and basically it's a bar. The chord changes every bar. It goes from E major to D flat major to D major to B major to C major to A major to B flat 13 to G major. So it's shifting around a lot, and there's lots of different things you could do to play on that, of course, but I was thinking, let's check out what Joe Henderson does. And I'm not going to play a recording of it, but you can easily find that. So I was just listening to the first the first chorus of his solo on the original recording of Inner Urge, and said, what does Joe do? So I transcribed it, and a couple of things jumped out. So I'm just going to hold up this transcription here, point out a few things. So it's very pentatonically oriented, and one thing that we can take away from it in particular is the idea of playing the major pentatonic built off of the 5th degree of the major chord, and he does that a couple times. So on the first chord, it's an E major chord, and he plays a line built off of, or at least that suggests B major pentatonic, and then in the next bar, I think he plays a line based on D flat major pentatonic, which is just based off of the root of that chord, and then A major pentatonic over the D chord, which again is off of the 5th, a B major pentatonic type line over B, even though it also has some major 7 stuffs in there. So you could basically think of it as just a B major type of line. Over the C chord, just plays one note, so interpret that as you see fit. Over the A chord, again, it's just chord tones. And then over the B flat dominant chord, I think it's some kind of upper structure type of piano type voicing, where he plays that descending triplet figure. It's like that C major triad kind of thing, which is like upper structure over the top of B flat dominant. And then in the last bar, some kind of basically just chord tone type of stuff. All these things you can interpret in different ways, but that's, I think, just for practical purposes, you can think about major pentatonic off of the 5. And one other thing I would point out, and I indicated this with these arrows here, is that in addition to just thinking of those pentatonics, also what Joe does and sounds great on is the voice leading, moving from one chord to the next. So there's always, for the most part, some kind of stepwise motion connecting the pentatonics, and so it's not just like playing a shape and then play an unrelated shape on the next chord. It's all tied together with a smooth voice leading. So that's some good stuff to work on there, and hope this was useful.